Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to break down the 509 snow goggles available at RevZilla.com. So what you're going to see on the front of me is the line of 509 snow goggles. And the way we're going to break this video down is we're going to start with the base goggle. We're going to talk about the prices and the features, and we're going to work our way through and discuss what you're going to get from making the bump to each of the other pairs. Now, the one thing to note is we're talking about prices in this video. You'll notice that each of the goggles has different prices. Now, those prices will reflect which lens you decide to go with. There's going to be a variety of different lenses you can choose from. There's going to be a standard lens, a mirror lens, they're going to have photochromatic lenses, and then they're going to have polarized lenses. So you're all going to have different options within these goggles. Now, the other thing you'll note is that there is going to be an ignite system. So if you're looking at either the Kingpin or the Sinister X5, you're going to have the option to add a heated lens to this as well. So there are going to be some different options that you're going to have, and that's really what's going to be reflected in the price. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to start on our right-hand side of the table, and we're going to work our way through. And keep in mind, as we're talking about these goggles, they're all going to come in one size. For those of you out there using a 2XL helmet or a larger helmet outside of the 509 line, you're going to want to look at the XL series. The XL series of goggles will be reflected in all the goggles that we're going to talk about, but they're going to be made in a larger frame, so they're going to work better with a larger helmet. Starting on my right-hand side, we have the Kingpin. And the Kingpin is your entry-level goggle. And really what you're going to see here for around the $60 to $100 price point, depending on lens, is going to be your base goggle. Now, to get the lens in and out of this one, it's actually going to be far simpler than what we're seeing with the Sinister X5. You're going to have two little tabs on the side, which you're going to swivel out, and then you're going to have pulls on the bottom, pulls on the top, and you're going to be able to pull this right out. You're going to notice it's much more of a frameless style design than what you're seeing when you get up into the Sinister. 8 direct vents, 3 indirect vents, and this is going to be available with that ignite system. So as we're talking about the Kingpin and the Sinister X5, here's the main option that's going to set these two pairs of goggles apart. You have the option to get this outfitted with what's known as the ignite system, and this is a battery pack that actually sits on the goggle strap, and this is going to run down and operate a heated lens. So for each of these options, you have the availability to add this ignite system to it or buy it as it comes with whatever frame you're looking for. Now, if you take the jump from the Kingpin up to the Sinister X5, the main thing you're going to notice is that you are now going to have a full frame goggle surround with this particular piece. Now, the one thing that this does with that goggle surround that's operated here, it helps to push the goggle foam back around your eyes, giving you a more secure closure than what you'd have without that goggle surround. It has more of an articulated fit to it. You're looking around the $90 to $150 price point, depending on which lens you go with. You have 4 direct vents with this, and then you're going to have 5 indirect vents. Now, the biggest problem that I had with the Sinister X5, this is the hardest on the table to get the lenses in and out. Now, for a lot of these, there's really no way to get the lens in and out easily without getting your fingerprints all over it, but this was easily the hardest. Now, that nose bridge down the front is removable, but the rest of this is going to be a multi-position point system where you have to get that lens in and out by just grabbing this and ripping it apart and then trying to get it back in. Moving to the Aviators. Now, the Aviators, we're getting up into a spherical lens. This is going to come in around the $120 to $150 price point, depending on the lens you're going with. And keep in mind, with the Aviators, with the Revolvers, the ignite system is not an option for this. These are both going to use a spherical lens, which gives you better optical clarity, but you're not going to be able to use that heated lens with this. Now, for around the $120 to $155 price, again, that's reflected in which lens you want to go with. And with this particular setup, you're now going to notice you have distinct points, and these white tabs that sit around the lens is what's going to mount that lens to the frame itself. So those are the points in which you need to pull apart. Now, this is a little bit easier to get apart than what we're seeing with the Sinister, but it's still not going to be as easy as when we get to the Revolver. 7 direct vents, 3 indirect vents with the Aviators. Now, my favorite ones on the table are easily going to be the Revolvers, and I say favorites simply because this is the only pair that's easy enough for me to show you how to change the lens while we're on camera. It's that simple. So you have a flip-up design. You have 2 little pull tabs on either side. You then flip the lens up, and you simply pull it out. To put the new lens in, you slide it in, you push that down, and then you have your tabs on either side, which simply push back into place, and you're set to go. This is the only one that is that fast and that easy to do. The other ones, I would have looked absolutely silly up here trying to wrestle the lenses back into place. If you ever used motocross goggles or snowmobile goggles before, you notice how hard it can be. So the simplicity of being able to change the lenses with the Revolvers is probably the best feature set that I can recommend, just for those of you out there that are switching lenses back and forth. Now, if you're someone that doesn't like to switch lenses back and forth, this might not give you that same added value. Price for this one is going to come between the $140 to $210 price point, depending on the lens. You're looking at 4 direct vents and 5 indirect vents, and that nose bridge on this one is going to be removable. And you are going to have a little bit more of that surround style goggle where it is going to give you that full closure back against your face. But like I said, the real feature set that's going to set this one apart is how easy it is to change the lens. So that is going to round up the differences that you'll see on the table. Remember, you have multiple different lenses that you can configure this with, and with the Kingpin and the Sinister X5, you can utilize that Ignite system as well. So for those of you out there looking for a snowmobile goggle, the 509 brand has multiple options for you to consider, and hopefully this has helped you navigate through what's available. If you still want to hear what other riders have to say, you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are currently out there putting these goggles through their paces. If you have more questions for one of our gear geeks as to which pair of goggles is going to be best for you and your helmet and riding style, you can always give them a shout. 877-792-9455, or simply shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the 509 snowmobile goggles. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.